and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back to the channel, guys. And honestly, what have we just seen? What has actually just happened there at the Metropolitano? Because I could have sworn that we were 2-0 down in the game. I could have sworn there we were heading on to the 70th minute mark in the game. 2 goals down against Atléti. You don't come back from that. I mean, we have done already this season. We actually came back in the Copa del Rey from 2-0 down. And I guess we thought we didn't quite see that one out. This time, we will make it count, because Barça have pulled off an absolutely miraculous comeback against Atléti, a huge statement in the title race. Ferran Torres was at the very heart of it, and what a goal it was as well, from Lamine Yamal and Robert Lewandowski. It is all coming up. We have to find a way to discuss what we've seen, and ultimately, to enjoy it, guys. I am sure right now, you are bouncing. So come on, all together, and let's do this. Because, okay, let's start at the very beginning then, with Hansi Flick's starting lineup in this game, which I have to say was quite interesting in itself, because as we said before the game, you know, much of that lineup there was already predetermined, really. We knew what we were going to see, we knew what to expect in this game, but I think the one big call came at centre-back there. Pau Cubarsí, he did come back in. Araujo there was relegated to the bench effectively. He did come on there in the second half, and we basically tried to solidify things, but I think the big change as well came in midfield, and this one was enforced to Marc Casado coming in. Frenkie de Jong unfortunately had a stomach bug, and I've got to say, guys, as much as today we made an incredible comeback, and of course we're going to talk about the incredible goals, the incredible moments, what this means for the title race, you know, coming back against Atleti, it's unreal. To do this, it's amazing. You know, many teams would try this, would try to come up against Atleti, would try to score 4 goals. Not many achieve it. Not many are able to do what Barça pulled off tonight miraculously in the second half. But can I just say, I don't actually think we played that well. And I'm going to kind of whisper that, because in a way, you don't want to admit that. You don't want to say that here, because it's an incredible win. Nobody's taking that away from the team. But I would just say, for much of that game, I think we were all sitting there thinking, well, this is going terribly. It's another game against Atletico Madrid whereby Barça haven't quite got it right tactically. They weren't quite at it there. The front three weren't quite firing in the way we were hoping they would. And then also the defence. I mean, you look at the Atleti goals, they absolutely shredded us there. And they continue to do that on the counter-attack. So I also think tonight, guys, as much as we are very, very happy about the win, and we will continue to be so, we will still need to look at this, because in terms of the Champions League there, in terms of the remaining games this season, you will need to look at how Atleti continually breach our midfield and our defence. They make their way in behind. We've got another goal from Sorloth. You know, we concede another goal there against him. Julian Alvarez scores as well against us. And those moments, they weren't ideal in the game there. We did very, very well to bounce back from them. It was a heroic effort from the team, and the subs were key as well, but there's plenty to improve upon. This was not perfect from Barça, far, far from it, and we don't really want to paper over some of those cracks. Because I think, guys, if you're looking at the game here in terms of, well, how did it change so drastically for Barça, you know, what really went on in those latter stages of the second half, well, one of the big things, and one of the very simple things here, we actually started to finish our chances. Because yet again, throughout most of this game, massive chances missed from Barça. And I think the main culprits there, Lamine Yamal had a few. You know, he had a few really good opportunities in and around the box, and he was making things happen. You know, he was tying Atleti up in not so much of this game there on the right side, but he did have those big moments in front of goal. One flashed just beyond the outside the post, another one there goes past Courtois, but again, it's going wide of the target. And of course, the one man that you really look at, it's Robert Lewandowski there. Big opportunities, big moments in front of goal. And I think it was no more evident than the big miss, of course, that he had right before Atleti scored. You know, there was a big opportunity for him. Brilliant ball played into him, you've got to say, from Pedri, who I thought was one of the few players tonight from Barça who was superb. Absolutely phenomenal yet again from Pedri. He was the metronome in midfield. But Lewandowski, you're looking for more. You're wanting more crispness there in the finishing. And I would just say, guys, before we come on to the great goals from Barça, what about that handball situation? Because there, in the second goal, before Sorloth scores, and admittedly, you've got to go back a while for it to happen, but as Pedri plays the pass, it's a clear handball from Atleti. And I guess this is my personal problem with VAR, because many people will say now, how far do you go back? But again, these are all the questions that we have. When are VAR going to intervene? Or aren't they? You know, nobody really knows what the protocol is. Nobody really knows what the rules are anymore. Because 1 minute VAR will intervene at every opportunity, and they'll go back and back and back. They'll go a minute back looking for something to disallow a goal. But then in the next instance, they just won't bother. You know, there's no consistency here. There's absolutely no consistency when it comes to the use of VAR and actually they're affecting the game. It happens so often. And again tonight, I think we can find ourselves really, really hard done by on that second goal from Atleti. But then we had a big moment in the game. On 67 minutes, I think Hansi Flick here did something very, very interesting. He takes off Dani Olmo, he takes off Marc Asado, and on comes Eric Garcia in midfield, who I thought had a really interesting impact on this game there. He did definitely change the way that midfield looked, the way there that we were playing in and around that area. And of course, Ferran Torres, I mean, he massively changes the game. And I guess I'm kind of wondering with Ferran now, you know, what does he have to do to actually start starting these games? Now, I know he's so effective coming off the bench. I know that he's really impressed in this kind of role, but he was so effective tonight. He was so good there in terms of the finishing, in terms of the movement. What more has he got to do to really and seriously put the pressure on Robert Lewandowski? But what you have to say, guys, is it was a great goal from Lewandowski there to immediately reply to that Sorloth goal. I thought that was key. You know, it felt as though at 2-0 down, we had to do something quick. We had to really quickly respond, or else the game was done. Atleti would start to set out their stall, and they would keep us out. So that goal from Lewandowski, it shouldn't be underrated. It was a very, very good finish, and it was vitally timed as well. And the Ferran first goal for me, it's a wonderful goal, this, because the way that Rafinha, it was also interesting that when Olmo went off, Rafinha then was more central, because he didn't start the game well, let's be honest. It was not a very Rafinha-esque performance from him today, but when he was picking the ball up centrally, he was a lot more impactful there. He gets on the ball, he puts a beautiful cross into the box, he just picks out the head of Ferran Torres, and he's so intelligent with the finish, because all the pace is on the ball. All he has to do is just direct it. You know, use that pace on the ball, direct it past Oblak. It's an absolutely wonderful header, and before you know it, it's 2-2. And suddenly we're thinking, we're in this. We can actually win this. A minute ago we were thinking about losing the game 2-0. Now we're thinking about winning it. It was an incredible and emphatic turnaround from Barça, and those two changes there from Flick, Ferran coming on, Eric Garcia in midfield, changing the structure of that attack, with Rafinha moving that position inside, it was absolutely vital there to this whole turnaround. And Araujo came on too, Gerard Martin, a bit of a restructure there in defence, and then in the 92nd minute of the game, and you've got to say about Yamal, he may have missed a few chances, he may have had a few frustrating moments in the game, he never gives up though, does he? He never goes hiding. You know, he doesn't think, oh, it's not really working out for me today, I don't really want the ball, I'm going to play the easy option, I'm going to play it safe. No, he is always looking, okay, how can I respond? How can I show my quality? How can I win the game for my team? Cuts inside, and yeah, okay, there's a deflection on the goal, and obviously that's a massive part of it. But you've got to take on the strike. You've got to have a go at goal. You've got to have the steel about you to say, I can do this. Take on that shot from that position, and it ends up in the back of the net. And the celebrations at the Metropolitano there, the Barca players, absolutely euphoric. And to hear the Barca fans inside the stadium too, it was incredible. 92 minutes gone. What a turnaround. And even after that then, you know, you have Atleti, they had a corner, we had to defend it, we had to be back in numbers there, everybody working hard, everybody there putting in the hard yards. Do we take the ball then to the corner flag? Do we run down the clock there, run down the seconds? Oh no, absolutely not, because Ferran, he scores again! Just when you think you've seen it all in this game, we score again. And it's another brilliant finish from him, though, you've got to say. In a time at Barca whereby we're not finding finishing that easy, we're not finishing off all the chances we should be, Ferran comes on here and he is clinical. And this is what we want to see. To score 4 after trailing by 2, I never expected this. I've got to say, you know, sometimes with Barca, you believe, you know, you think you're always in the game, you think you can make the comeback. Tonight, I've got to be honest, I didn't see it happening. The performance didn't look to be there. Barca didn't really seem to be in the right kind of mood for this game. But in the blink of an eye, this team, they can be devastating. This team can take the game beyond you when you least expect it. And I think Atléti tonight, they've had a tough week. You've got to say, they have been through all of the emotions this week. And we have robbed them of everything. We spoke before the game of putting them on the floor. That's what we've done here. We silenced the Metropolitano. We took a massive step back to the top of the league. And we did it. We did it all with an incredible comeback tonight, guys. I would like to know your thoughts. I would like to know your feelings, the emotions. What's running through your veins right now? This is unbelievable. This is unexpected. And this, quite simply, is Hansi Flick's Barça. I will see all of you very soon now. We're into the international break. We're going to be talking much more about this game. We're going to be looking down from the top of the league. And I hope you guys here have enjoyed a stunning end to the weekend. Go to sleep tonight with a big smile on your face. I will see all of you soon. Thank you indeed for tuning in here. What a win! But until next time, guys, as always, Vesca, El Barça!